All right, we are live. Woohoo! Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to another edition of the Ultimate Career Leap. So I'm just going to wait to make sure that the notification has gone live on everything. Let's see, am I notified yet on LinkedIn?
We're live on Facebook. I can see that.
Oh, so it's live on Facebook. Perfect. So anybody feel free to hop on, say hi, let us know you're here. Interesting. I'm not getting anything yet for LinkedIn, but let me check. Oh, there we go. Now I got it. All right. Anybody feel free to hop on, say hi, let us know you're here. Sorry, I got to turn off my volume. Okay. All right. So good morning, good afternoon. Hi, Nicholas from North Carolina. Glad to have you. All right. So I'm VJ. Welcome to another edition of Ultimate Career Leap. Today I did it a little differently. Usually I'm at the nighttime, but we're doing an afternoon edition because I have Shaneil, the intuitive reinvention strategist, with us, and she's based in Sicily. So we adjusted for her time zone. Hi from Kansas City, Tiffany. How you doing? Welcome. So Shaneil, introduce yourself. Tell the people who you are.
So hi everyone. As VJ said, I'm an intuitive reinvention strategist. And what that just means is I help entrepreneurs, influencers, world changers to ditch burnout and pivot in their business so that they do something that comes from their soul, something that gives them fulfillment, that helps them make a lot of money, but while giving them real bliss and joy. And so I help people change from what they used to do to something new. And most times the new thing, it's creative, it's out of the box, it's scary, it's their next level, but it's exactly what their soul wants to experience. And so that's what I do.
Yes. So Shaneil is very good at what she does. Like, we've worked together briefly in the past, and I love her. Like, she was very helpful in helping me kind of get my vision out and see where I was going with things. So I thought she'd be a great addition as a guest to help you guys also, if you're trying to figure out what to do next, what's your sole purpose. She's the one. So what do you consider? So let's talk about that sole purpose. Like, I love that. Like, that's your phrase. I always hear you saying that. So like, what does sole purpose mean to you?
So here's the thing, right? We grow up in a society where we're taught how to be. We're taught what to do, what to believe, how to dress, how to act, based on our family, based on religion, based on what people's preconceived notions of who we are. But the truth is that before we even came on earth, or souls, we have a soul within us, that piece of us that will never die. And that soul came to this earth with a purpose. We all have a calling and a purpose. It doesn't matter what religion you're from, what country you're from, whether you're male, female, it doesn't matter who you are. We all have a soul. And the thing is, when we come here, we initially have this calling on our lives, and we grow up in a family that says, oh, women should do this and girls shouldn't do that, or boys should be like this, and oh, you can't make enough money, or don't do that. And little by little we become brainwashed as to what we are capable of and what we are allowed to do. And our sole purpose is really just us waking up to who we truly are and why we are here and what our divine calling is. And the thing about a divine calling or a soul purpose is that when you're doing that thing, there's a sense of fulfillment. And it's not just for you, where you are benefiting maybe in terms of influence or fame or money, but it's something that when you do that thing, people are transformed. And it ripples out into the world, and you inspire people with it. You're not trying to be inspiring. You just inspire people because you are doing your soul work. And it makes people think, wow, that's possible. So when someone follows their soul purpose, what happens is we just have a more fulfilling and happier life. And I think one of the reasons why I even became so passionate about this topic was growing up. My mom passed away when I was 15 years old. VJ, you and I share that, share this losing our mothers. But my mom passed away when I was 15 years old, and I just remembered looking at the impact she had, right? How many
Right.
lives she touched, and she wasn't trying to. She was just being her true, authentic, divine, powerful self. And so many people's lives were touched. And not just that, but I saw on the back end of that, my father believing that, okay, as a single father to two daughters, I need to sacrifice myself and do a job I hate to take care of these
Mhm.
kids. And I just watched him every day hating his job. And I thought to myself, this man he's the smartest man I know. He's the most talented man I know. He's such an amazing father, was an amazing husband. And I look at all of that, I'm like, and here he is not living his life purpose. And I was just like, I don't ever want to not live my calling.
Right.
Because I
Right.
witnessed the both sides of the coin. And, I began to allow myself to do what I wanted to do at an early age, even when my classmates would say, Shaneil, that's what you're going to do. That's, you know, I just found myself doing it my way. And I got so much recognition, so much impact in money, like everything that I desired that everyone else was chasing. It was chasing me, but I was just happy all the way, just like doing what I was called to do.
Right. Right. So basically, like instead of chasing after your dreams, you were just catching them because they were coming to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great. So, in case you guys don't know from her accent, she's Jamaican. But where did you like you moved around a bit? You went from Jamaica to London, right?
Girl, I've lived in 7 countries. I've lived in Jamaica,
Wow.
I've lived in Canada, Denmark, Poland, like random, the UK, and I'm here now in Italy, living in Italy. So I've lived so much in Portugal. I've lived in so many places. France, I lived in Paris at one point. So yeah, I've lived
So
everywhere. So
so for you like going on that journey, living in all of these places, was it also because of your sole purpose? Was it like just getting opportunities or were you just like randomly like, you know what, that country I'm gone?
soul purpose, 100%. You see, when
Nice.
you say yes to your soul purpose, it's going to be scary. It's going to be also be a comfort zone. Like when you
Right.
think about Jamaican people and maybe some Caribbean people will be watching this, no Jamaican says they want to go to Poland. No one says, I'm going to move to Poland. Like, in fact, like it's like, okay, we understand England because it speaks English, and we understand
Right.
the US and Canada, but like who goes to Denmark from Jamaica? And like, so what happens is you're following your soul's calling, and your soul purpose is going to take you leaps and bounds beyond your comfort zone and stretch you, and it will really stretch you. And so yeah,
Right.
all of those travels and stuff came from me following my soul purpose and just doing crazy stuff that everybody else said, oh my god, this girl is ridiculous, and I just did it anyway, and I wouldn't take any of it back.
So what was like one crazy thing that you did that was part of your sole purpose that people were like, really, Shaneil, really? Really?
I mean, oh gosh, multiple things. I can start with, first of all, I started out as a social worker. And that in itself, people in Jamaica, we didn't have a strong social work presence. Like, we don't have child protection. We do, but it's not like the way it is in the US. And so when you think about social work, you think about the movies, you watch like CIS and like, LAPD shows and these things where you have like they come and they take away the children. And so we never
Mhm.
have had a good concept of social work back then. And I just remembered my grandmother expected me to be a lawyer. My father expected me to be a lawyer. All my neighbors, everybody at church, like everybody's like, this girl, she can talk. So she's gonna be a lawyer. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna be a social worker. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a social worker. And that was like the first like rebelling kind of when it came to the calling. But the next one was when I said I was going to start my own business and work from home. And everybody's like, you belong in corporate, in like an office with like suits. And I mean, they didn't get it because I started
Right.
my online business 2014, when now it's more popular, and now with the coronavirus quarantine, people are working from home. But 2014, like, I just remember my grandma calling me and she's like, Shaneil, are you surviving? How are you surviving? Like, she's freaking out that I'm not eating, I'm
Right,
destitute
because you didn't have a job. You were
because I
working
didn't
from
have a
home.
job,
That meant
right?
you just were unemployed. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's one. Another one is like when I decided, oh, I was gonna charge thousands of dollars for my offers. People are like, nobody's gonna buy that because by this time I had all my friends were social workers, and
Right.
in social work there is luck, there is a budget, there is limitation, and they're like, nobody's gonna pay you thousands of dollars. That's ridiculous, you know. So there have been people who have been naysayers at every single turn, but I don't listen to them because I think I'm stubborn, but it's good because I learn what I need to do. I trust my intuition, and that's why I'm an intuitive reinvention strategist. Because I don't just put people into containers or tell people to go do this thing and do that thing. I actually channel for them and help them to channel for themselves so they understand their intuitive voice and what needs to take place for their soul, not just fear and what mommy says and what the government says and
Right.
oh my god, there's, you know.
Right. And that's a good thing. I think so many people are afraid to do things because of other people. Right. It's like
Yeah.
if you really look at some of the fears you have, are they actually your fears or is it fear that somebody else put on you?
Yeah.
No,
I,
and I think people don't really stop to think about that.
yeah. In my work with my clients, I mean, I actually learned this from Florence Scovel Shin in the book The Game of Life and How to Play It. If you guys haven't read that book, definitely check it out. But it's something that I really believe wholeheartedly, and I say it to all my clients, or I use it with my clients. Anytime they come to me with a problem, it's always, and whose voice is that? You know, and who are you
Mm.
afraid of disappointing? Or who, when someone, like I remember last week we had a call with my mastermind ladies, and I was saying to them, you know, somebody was saying she was feeling overwhelmed, and I'm like, who are you afraid of disappointing? You know, overwhelmed, the fear of being overwhelmed or fear of failing. It's literally fear of what mommy, daddy, my husband, whoever is gonna think. It's not really your truth.
That's a good point. Yeah, like I think it's interesting that you say it that way because so many times that's the truth. Like you're afraid of letting somebody else down, but when they list the people they're afraid of letting down, they're never in the list.
True.
Like I know
True.
for me, sometimes the only person I've really feared letting down was me. Like I didn't really worry about if I let my parents down or if I let my grandparents, the cousins, the aunts, the uncles. It was just like I'm letting myself down.
Yeah. But
You know,
that's
and I
when you know
think
you're walking your soul purpose is when you think about yourself, not letting yourself down.
yes, yes, yes. Let's see. Matthew Perkins joined. Hey, Matthew. He says, loving this powerful story. And Vicky's watching us on Facebook.
Hi, Vicky.
So that's Vicky Gould. If you guys don't know, I had her on a few weeks back as well. And she's how I met Shaneil. I meet a lot of my coaches through Vicky, actually.
And
um,
Vicky, so I'm BJ. So
yeah, yeah. She's
I'm
the one.
sure
If you look for that live session, it's one we did about storytelling.
Vicky's amazing. Hi,
Yeah,
Vicky.
Vicky was good for that. So yeah, so that's interesting. So let's talk quarantine real quick, right? Because you had mentioned that and something that you said. So you're in Italy and you guys have been quarantined. What are you on day 8 now?
Yeah, we're like a week in now. It's like
Okay.
second nature now to be quarantined. We're well adjusted.
So are you one of those people that have been like outside on the balcony singing with the neighbors, or is that not happening where you are?
No, so where I am, I'm not in an area where there's a balcony to sing to people because
Okay.
my balcony like overlooks the beach. So if I'm singing, I'm singing to the fishes in the ocean. But what we've been doing is it's funny. Carlos, my husband, his family like his father video calls us and we like talk like
Mm-hmm.
on video call. The whole family's video calling because you know we aren't able to see them. So that's one of the ways we're connecting, you know, with them. The thing is, the area that I live in, it's a beach area. So in this time of year, there's nobody really on this side because
Okay.
everybody, you know, it's a touristic kind of vibe, and it's not. There's no tourists right now. You know, there's no
Right, right,
tourists.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I saw you had created like a survival guide for the quarantine.
No. A thrival guide.
A thrival guide. I'm sorry, my
Yeah.
bad. I was like, wait, that's not how she said it. That's right. She's teaching you how to thrive. So
Yeah.
what's your website for that? Like if anybody wants to download this thrival guide, where can they get it?
Okay. So it's Shaneil, Shaneil.com/quarantine. And it's going to be the first button on the page. You don't even have to opt in, no email necessary. Just download it, dive in, have fun. You know, I created it with the aim of really shifting people from the fear to kind of being more playful. So you'll see, like, in it, there's 3 categories. You have soul, sensuality, and success. So the soul one, doing some reflecting, doing some spring cleaning, you know, sensuality, really connecting with your partner or yourself, and, you know, getting dressed up for no reason. And, you know, and then you
Look good in the house. That's right.
yeah, and you have the success part, which one of the suggestions in there actually came from you, VJ, which was people can go ahead and write their book, which is great that Vicky's even on here as well too.
Right.
So, you know, use it for
Yeah, when I saw that list,
productivity.
you know what? When I saw that list, I think I had just talked to Vicky, and that's what made me say write a book, right? To add that
Yeah,
to the list, you know, different things. So yeah, that's good. Like, so for anybody who's being self-quarantined and you're not sure what to do, there's a guide to how to thrive.
yeah.
You
And
know,
it's just fun, it's lighthearted. It, you know, it has just 3 categories, go through and step by step go through, do some of the activities, have fun with it. And on that page as well, there's a flash sale because I believe in shine in quarantine, which is really quarantine, but, you know, kind of trying to rhyme here. And there's a flash sale where some of my best-selling courses that people rave about all the time, I just have them there for like up to 90% off. So if you're thinking to study something too, those are there as well.
nice,
And
nice,
but
nice.
you can get the PDF without going through any of those. Just get the PDF, enjoy it, and if you feel called to do any other courses, you can do that too.
Yes, and Vicky said write a book. She raised her hand, like, yes, please write a
Yes,
book, because she also helps people write their bestsellers, especially for their
exactly.
business. So
She helped
yes,
me with my book. I am a 2-time best-selling author, and I credit it to Vicky. Vicky's the one that helped me with my book, with both of my books.
nice, nice. So, you know, in one of my posts, I talked about, even though we're doing social distancing, we don't have to not actually be social, you know, and how to network more remotely and such. And that's like a great example of this, right? So, like, I met Shaneil through Vicky, and they were doing a live together, and that's how, you know, we met. And I don't know if you guys, if you're new to me, you might not know this story. If you follow me, you know that I hated to do videos. And I was just like, I need to do it. And, you know, I asked my one coach to just be like, you tell me how I need to hear it so I can go do videos. It was Shaneil. Shaneil was VJ. Like, our like second live together. She's like, VJ, go do a live. When we get off,
Yeah.
30 seconds, introduce yourself and tag me in it. So I know you did it. I was like,
And look at you
okay,
now, you're like a
right?
pro. You're
I
like
know
a
it
you're
cracks
like
me
a
up.
full-on professional.
I'm
To the
like, oh
point
God.
where, guys, this live stream is also on LinkedIn, and I had to be asking VJ, wait, you go live on LinkedIn? How do you do that? So now the student has become the teacher. Like, that's how epic this is right here.
Yes, yes, yes. I know first I was only streaming to LinkedIn, and now I'm doing LinkedIn and Facebook. But that was honestly because of my guests. You guys have more of a Facebook following than I do. Like, my following is LinkedIn. So yes, Matthew says he remembers my first time on Janayad's live. Yeah, that was the first time I went live with somebody, was when Janayad had live. So, and then I applied and I got live. Vicky says I'm a pro now. Thank you, Vicky. And to grab those
Yes,
courses, they're so good. Yes, I know Vicky grabbed your the burnout one you have.
yes, the ultimate burnout cure. Good.
Yes, yes. So if you feel like you're burning out in your business, she's got the fix for you for that
And
one.
not just business, it's like it's business but in life, because the things that you learn in that course are not just about entrepreneurs. You know, I made it for entrepreneurs, but it's really for people. So if you're burnt out, I remember there's one of the ladies who is taking it, and she has like 3 kids and like one on the way, and you know, it's just like it doesn't necessarily restrict you to having a business. If you feel burnt out, overwhelmed, this is going to get to the core of what's going on.
Good, good, good. Yes, yes, yes. So you work with
And
people.
Delia is here too. Hi, Delia.
Oh, we got more people coming in. Perfect, perfect. And I see Milos is on. Hi, Milos. He's one of my new clients.
Hi,
Happy to
Milos.
have you. So, so you work with people with their sole purpose, and you said something about channeling. Give us like a little sample of what it's like to work with you. Like, what does that mean?
Yes. So for me, intuition is a huge part of how I work. So what I do is help people to pivot, okay, to that next chapter, whether it means you're charging more, whether it means you're doing something completely different, whether it means, you know, you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and just flipping things on its head with your career and changing how you're going about your life. That's what I do. So the how I do it is I actually get divine downloads. So I will be like, I'll be talking to someone and they'll be sharing their frustration, and I will actually receive like an intuitive knowing as to what that person is really saying and what direction to like direct them into. But even outside of that, because with my that's what I do with my one-on-ones. But what I've created is a way in which people can do that for themselves. Because I feel like, you know, we live in a world where we get addicted sometimes to always searching for the answer. And we don't realize that your sole purpose, you were born with that. Like that was something you were born with. So what I try to do now, especially for me in this chapter of my life and my business, is to not just channel for people and help guide them. No. Right now, it's about me helping you to be able to do it for yourself. So in 5 years, you're transitioning again. You can go back to the work and get that clarity. You know, oh, in 10 years, you can go back to the work and get that clarity. You know, or you're talking to your husband or you're talking to your sister and they're freaking out. You know a process that you can take them through to help them get clarity as well. So it's something that's transferable. And it took me a while before I was able to put it in a container that was transferable, because for a long time, I didn't understand how to transfer that ability or that process. And so for like 2 years, I just kept coaching people one-on-one and testing them as my little guinea pigs, seeing how I could like use this process in a way that is transferable. And now we've gotten to that point, and I just think everyone needs to understand that it's not only to just rely on others, it's to realize that you are truly a powerful person and a powerful soul, and you're here for a calling, with a calling and for a purpose. And I want you to be able to pull on yourself and trust yourself. You know, that's what I'm really pushing people to do now. That's how I'm doing it.
Great. That's great. That's great. And so Shaneil's the type of person, like, she'll be on social media all the time, and then she'll take like a 2-3 month break, and then she comes back like out of nowhere, and it's just like, I'm back, and boom, and like she has all of this. Like Vicky and I laugh about this all the time. She's like, there she goes again. She like was gone for 3 months, and she's back, and she's got all this stuff going, you know. And it's like, if she really is aligned with what she's supposed to be doing, she'll figure it out, you know. And I think for a lot of us, we're afraid to figure it out, you know, or we're afraid of disappointing other people, of taking this leap, of having the risk. But like the reward is so much more, you know. And like I was asked that, like, how do you handle the risk? And I'm like, I think about what it's like if I don't take the risk.
Yeah. But it's funny you mentioned that example, because yesterday, Carla and I, we were, you know, after we're settling down for the evening, we were watching some YouTube, and this YouTuber, she was saying, guys, I've been gone for a while, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, I go for a while for a lot of times, and I'm not apologizing. I know when I go for a while, I'm working on some stuff, I'm working on myself, I'm not apologizing for that. Like, if you missed me, I'm back, you're welcome, I'm here, you know. So I used to apologize, but I don't anymore.
And you used to like tell us when you were going to be gone. Like, you don't really say like, I'm taking a break. It's just like, she takes a break.
Bye.
And it's funny because I feel like so many people always have to announce when they're taking a break from social media. Just take a break. Like,
take the break.
Yeah.
And don't apologize for taking a break. Just be like, hey guys, I'm back. Like, why are you sorry? You went and you took care of yourself. You took care of your family. You got deep into you. You connected with you. You put you first. Like, why are you apologizing for that? We don't apologize. Like, I used to apologize. I will confess, I used to apologize, but I don't anymore, because I'm doing, honestly, when you take a break, you're doing yourself a favor. You're doing the world a favor. Because when you come back, what you're coming back with is going to be of so much more potency than if you had just forced yourself to do it because, let me do it because people are expecting it. No, it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning, BJ, about being afraid to disappoint others. No, being afraid to disappoint myself. I'm not going to disappoint myself. And self-care is very, very important, you know?
Right. Definitely. Like that self-care, having that faith that all kind of keeps you going and keeps you moving. So you got a testimonial from Vicky. She said, I've worked with Shaneil for years, one-on-one, group and online courses. I get everything of hers. what the best thing is that the insights and the change happen so fast.
Oh,
And
Vicky.
that's true because she was talking about doing some kind of shift and she was having that burnout feeling and she did like your course. And then next thing I know, I got like different types of messages from Vicky. I was like, what just happened?
Vicky
She's
has
like,
changed.
she's like,
Like,
yeah, she's like, I did Shaneil's course and it helped. I was like, oh, okay.
wow,
So
wow,
Matthew
that makes me
said,
so
that's
happy.
so true. You have to keep yourself strong and taken care of in order to provide your best value to others. Exactly. Like you can't serve from an empty cup. You know, like
True.
that saying, like you always have to take that time, take that self-care. I know
Yeah,
I've had to do it, you know, since returning to the country. I'm like, well, why did I come back going on? I feel like I should have stayed in Curacao. But
yeah,
like from when I've come back, I've been busy and I've been running. And I'm like, wait, I just need to rest for a day. Like I just
yeah,
needed like over the weekend, I took one day to just relax. I was like, okay, I gotta
yeah,
just do me and do some laundry. I was like, wow, I haven't even done my laundry yet. You know, like it was just
yeah.
everything
And
was just
you're
starting to
allowed to
pile up.
do that. You know, you're allowed
Yeah.
to do that. Like, if you
I
think
think
about
it
it,
also makes it easier to help people because you've
yeah.
done it. You know, you're recharged.
But
Yeah.
also, if you think about like in corporate world, you know, like in the corporate world, you get days off, you get holidays off, you get time off, you get vacation leave, you get all kinds of different leave. And then when you work for yourself, you kind of don't give yourself that opportunity. And you
Yes.
need it. Like, even God rested on the seventh day, people. Hello. Like, you're what? God? Hello. You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's true. Like that really helps. I mean, even for like some of my clients with their careers, like people are burning out, people are stressed, people are tired. You know, some people, even though they have that leave, they don't take it. Like
Yeah.
you have vacation days. Take a day
Yeah.
off. It's okay to take
And
a day
I will
off.
say, I will even say this, I will add this, because there's some people who are taking time off because they're afraid to live their calling. If that's you, do not take a day off. Go live your calling. But if taking the day off is in service to your calling, honey, then do. And if it's in service to like resting and things like that, then do. But if it's an excuse to procrastinate, I see you. Do not do that. Live your calling,
Yeah,
please.
yeah. That is very true. So what advice would you give people to navigate those fears of others to help them let those go so that they can live their true calling?
You just have to do the thing you're afraid of. If you're afraid that people will judge you for talking about a topic, go on a live stream and talk about the topic. If you're afraid that people will judge you for selling a certain thing or doing a certain thing, you do the thing. Not like, mindset work is important, but even after you've done the mindset work, you're still going to have to do the thing. That's the only thing that will make the difference, is doing the thing and realizing that, wait, I did not die. You know, and I remember, like, a part of what I talk about in being an, you know, a reinvention strategist, I do soul, sensuality, and success. And when I was incorporating the sensuality side in my work back in 2018, I was very scared because it's talking about sex, seduction, and like feminine energy. And I was very nervous because I was like, oh my God, like all my people from my church, they're gonna think I'm an abomination, and like my father's gonna disown me, and YouTube is gonna block my videos for being like lewd. And I just had to hit the record button and say, hello world, I talk about this stuff, I believe in this stuff. If you don't accept it, it was nice knowing you, bye bye. If you want to be on the journey with me, let's go. And I just had to do that. And it's so funny because there was not one single hater. Like, I got no bad, there's like no negative energy on. There's like no bad. And I was just like,
That's
what was
great.
I afraid of? You
Right,
know?
right. So Matt says
So
that's
that's
great
it.
advice. There's 7 billion people on this planet. Do you, and it will resonate with somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I remember when you did that shift in 2018, and you were like, "Okay, I'm a little nervous, but I'm starting to put out this new content."
Yeah.
And you said it in like your first video about it. You're like, "You know what? I'm doing a shift. I hope you guys
Yeah.
ride with me on the shift, but here we go." You know,
Yeah.
and it's true. You do like I didn't want to do video. Look where
Yeah.
I am now. You know.
Exactly. You're hosting a TV show. Hello.
Now that was so not on my radar. I will say that that was definitely not on my radar.
But
But
that's
like,
what
Mike
happens
kind of
when you
really
just,
kind of laughs at me about that one.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you push through the fear.
Yes.
Because the
Yes.
thing is, you've always known you were somebody who was meant to serve tons of people. You already knew that, VJ. You and I know that. Like, even
Right.
before you did video, you knew you were called to touch multiple people's lives, but you were kind of holding yourself back and like, am I ready? Do I know enough? Like, is this,
Right.
I need to have this thing before I can put this website first and this thing. I was just like, you're enough, you're ready. And when you said yes to yourself and did that video, that's when you kind of said to yourself, I'm ready. And little by little, all the people you interviewed so far and who you will interview started to come into your space as not just people you know, but as friends, right? And you can pull on their expertise and expand your calling even more.
Definitely, definitely. And that's the power of networking. Because I mean, honestly, like all my guests, I have met through some form of networking or through somebody else, and like we've connected on LinkedIn. And like my first 3 guests were people I met on LinkedIn, and then we did a Zoom call together. And people are like, "Oh, networking doesn't work." I'm like, yes, it does. You're doing it wrong if you think it doesn't work. And if you think it's scary, I'm like, just think of it as bonding. I'm like, throw out that word networking and just call it bonding. You're bonding with
Yeah.
people.
And it's
And it's
interesting too. Like, I want to show everyone here who's watching the power of really following your soul purpose and your path. Because many people would say, hey, you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on Facebook, you need to be on Facebook. And even though VJ is on Facebook, but she's crushing it over on LinkedIn, right? So there's not one way, just because there's people who are saying you need to do this or you need to do that. You don't need to listen to anyone. You need to decide what is your soul's calling and what is your container, your divine container that you thrive in, even if it's scary, like doing a video, and you go full force with it, even if people don't get it.
right, right. Because there are people that do get it.
Yeah,
It's just like you have to find
your
them.
tribe will get it. Your soul
Yes,
people will get it.
yes. Like somebody, a young lady had asked me this during the virtual home conference I did last week. And she was like, what's it, when you're getting started and like your family doesn't really understand what you're trying to do or this and the other one. And I'm like, worrying about getting support from the wrong people.
Yeah.
Focus on who actually supports you. And I think that's a major problem. Everybody's like, but I want my family and friends to support me. Okay, but they don't know what you're doing yet. Just
Yeah.
whoever is willing to support you, that's who you get your support from. And don't worry about who's not supporting you, because sometimes they're not supporting you because of harm. They just don't know what you actually
Yeah,
do.
they don't understand.
Right. Until they see you doing it and thriving in it. Then it's like, oh, is that what you do?
Yeah.
Like I did a video for one of my programs, the one I originally talked to you about, which I still haven't done too much with, but that's another story. And
don't let me have to kick your butt, VJ.
no, we'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that one offline, because I had shifted some things. I just put it on the back burner, but it's been kind of percolating back there.
No,
So I did a
thinking.
video, and I had like some people I know in the video, and one of them was like, "So this is what you do?" I was like, "Yeah, this is what I do." And he's like, "Oh," and it was like a newer friend, so newer connection and everything. So he really didn't know what I did. But then now he's like, "Oh, I get it. This is useful." Like he's like, "Where were you when I needed help with my career?" I was like, "Well, I'm here now." So it is just understanding like who gets it and having those friends that do get it, like my entrepreneurial friends. That's why I'm so close with Vicky. Like I learned so much from Vicky, and she keeps pushing me forward because she works like a freaking machine. She's a beast.
Yeah.
I'll be like, Vicky, what are you doing today? And she like runs off this list, and I'm like, crap, I only got 3 things on my list. I gotta catch up.
Fast. Yeah,
right?
She takes action, man.
So I'm like, okay, and I have my other entrepreneurial friends where I'm like, I need to run an idea, or I'm trying to work through something. Like Matthew, he's one of those people. I'll text him in a heartbeat and be like, I'm trying to figure out this idea. You got some free time? Like, help me run through it. And he's like, hit me with it, and like helping me get the logistics straight. So it's like just having those people that you can reach out to is so important. Oh, we got a question. What would your advice be to someone that struggles with their passion? I find my fingers in so many pies that I lack consistency and direction. I provide value to others in their projects, but do not take care of myself or brand myself well.
Okay. So that's to me, yeah? The question is to me, right?
Yeah. The question's to you. Yeah. Because that's actually Matt asking that conversation all the time. So he needs to hear this from somebody else.
Okay. Good question. So here's the thing. When you have multiple passions, like I feel you, I also have multiple, just me. multiple passions. And what you have to do is realize that, you know, you have life. Life is not just like life is now, but you have a life. So everything doesn't have to be done today. So you get to actually say, all right, well, this month, this week, today, I'm focusing on this thing. And you give it your 100% of your effort. And then you can actually put things into sequencing to say, all right, so I'll do this. And then next month, I'll work on this. It's okay to break your goals down into actual like chunks, right? So for me, if it was up to me, I would be a billionaire today. I would be a billionaire today. I would have like a internet multinational corporation that employs thousands of people all across the globe, and I would do it today. But I'm thinking about sequencing. Okay, well, this is what I want to do as phase one. This is what I want to do as phase two. This is what I want to do as phase three. And then I also thought, okay, for example, you see, I say I'm a reinvention strategist and I incorporate soul, sensuality, and success. That actually came from me just doing all like taking the time to say, okay, today I'm talking about soul. Okay, today I'm talking about sensuality. Okay, today I'm talking about how you can skyrocket your business. And then I realized, wait a minute. Oh, but they all fit together. And so I found a way to fit them together. But I could only do that when I actually took action on one thing at a time. And as I was taking action on one thing at a time, I realized how they were all connected. So, for example, I'm multi passionate, just like you are. I love hair, I love makeup, I love beauty, I like to look cute, you know. And I realized that all those things get to fit into the sensuality aspect of what I do. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. So I don't, you know, I don't have to like quit this thing and do that. Like I am Shaneil, and Shaneil is the soul, which is like your life calling, and she is the sensuality, which is like, I'm gorgeous, darling, and she is the success, which is like money, you know, like whatever, like she's all of it. So, but I didn't get here overnight. I had to, when I felt led to speak about soul, I spoke about soul and I gave it 100%. And when I wanted to talk about sexuality and sensuality and femininity, I gave it 100%. And when I talked about success, I gave it 100%. And as I did each of those things to the best of my ability, and I gave it my all, I got to see, wait a minute, but it's the same. It's the same. Oh, wait. Oh. Right? So just pick one thing now, set a timeline, give it your all. Give it your all and allow yourself to take steps in all the things that you're passionate about. Listen, you have a whole,
That is great advice.
life. Thank you.
I like that. Does that answer your question, Matthew? I'm refreshing to see if I can. Okay, I'll wait to see when his comment comes through. But yeah, that's great advice. Like, I think that applies for everybody. You know, you're like, I have into so many different things, and no, you can't do them all at once, but you do just have to start with one of them.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's just like, all right, write them down on a piece of paper, throw it up, whichever one lands up. Okay, that's the one. Start.
Because it's not like, exactly, even if you pick it out of a hat, but just start and put your all into it, because it's not like you're gonna be trained to that thing for the rest of your life. You will never be able to talk about something else. No, set a timeline. Say, for this week, I am focusing. And even in business, when it comes to like sales, that's one of the things that I do. I have, like, I will say, okay, this month the focus is this specific program or this specific offer. And I just, like, right now, everything is leading to the free quarantine, Thrive During Quarantine, you know, PDF. Everything is leading to that. And then that leads to the sale, the 90% off flash sale that's going on. But everything I talk about leads to that right now. Next week, it may be, not maybe, it will be something else, you know?
Right. And I think a lot of that problem is because of how we see brands. Like, people think, well, but my brand has to be this one thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but think about it. Like, you know, if you use like an actor, right? There's so many actors out there that are like, I got a fashion line, I'm into beauty, I'm doing accessories, I'm doing, you know, like they do all of these different things. You know, they like, I act, I direct, and I got this, that, and the other. So
Yeah.
They're still that person, like that's still their brand. Like, like Gary Vee talks about his wine, he talks about
Yeah.
TikTok, he talks about media, like he talks about everything. But I think
Yeah.
we're so like thinking, okay, when I'm building my brand, it has to be this one thing.
Yeah.
And like even for
No.
myself, I'm
Just,
like, some people know me for careers and some people know me for entrepreneurship. It just depends on what circle I'm in. And I just
yeah.
shift hats for
And
whatever
for some
circle I'm in.
people, and the two of them are linked because people who
Yes.
become entrepreneurs, that is their career path. So it's
Yes.
still
Yeah.
career, So it's like it doesn't have to be the same way. And I think a good way to explain it as well is if you think about like fast fashion brands, like if you think about like Fashion Nova or House of CB or any of these online clothing brands, or even Zara, for example, that's a big popular one. You'll see that every few weeks they come up with a new line of clothing, like
Right.
a new, new outfits. Okay, spring is here. Okay, fall is here. Like new things. It doesn't mean they're not still Zara. And it's the same with us as humans. We're dynamic. You're not just
Right.
one sided. So if you want to incorporate the different aspects of you, that's okay.
Gotcha. So Matt said, thank you so much for the detailed and insightful answer. It seems like I should let the big picture develop as I pursue each piece that I find passion in. Stop hindering myself by thinking I need to have a big picture before I take the first steps. Yes.
Yes. Yes, Matthew. You're welcome. And do it. Take the step. And tag me once you do it so I can see.
Yeah, she is good about holding you accountable. So if you say you're gonna do something, don't tell Shaneil if you don't want to be accountable for it, because she'll be like, "Excuse me, what are you doing? What are you
Yep.
doing?" Hence
Yep.
why I
Yep.
started
Yep.
doing videos, because I was like, she's not gonna be in my DMs like, VJ, what happened?
Uh-uh.
I'm like,
Gotta
she's
get
not
it
gonna
done.
yell at me. That's right. You get it done. I mean, that was great advice. It was, really was. I'm sure that helped a lot of people, because I talk to my clients about that as well. And like you said, for me with the careers and the entrepreneurship part, it's like, yeah, for a lot of people, their next ultimate career leap is from employee to entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So it still is in line for me. Sometimes that part's more fun than the career part.
Yeah.
Just depends on the day for me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely great, great, great advice. So we've talked about your sole purpose. We've talked about how to thrive in quarantine.
Yes. Shine in current.
Um, yeah, so all right, so let's talk about having a little faith to get through the fears, right? Let's like, we're in these scary times, but some people are freaking out beyond belief, and some people are just like, okay, stay calm. And I don't know if it's just like a lack of leadership or too much
Yeah.
information that's inaccurate, people not sure what's accurate, but we just really need to remain calm and kind to each other and check on each other. Like when I saw Italy got quarantined, I was like, okay, let me hit up Shaneil, let me hit up Johnny, see how they're doing. I'm like, I got friends in northern and southern Italy. You guys all right?
Yeah.
You know?
So the thing is, when it comes to like fear and like especially what's going on in the world right now, I think the first thing I would say to everyone is to take a deep breath. Like breathe. Like honestly, it might sound so like breathe. I'm breathing. I'm alive. I'm breathing. But like, I really mean pause and take a breath, because scientifically and biologically, when we have a fear response in our body is releasing cortisol and other histamine and other kinds of neurotransmitters in our bloodstream. It's just biology. It's normal. So you feel afraid, and your body releases a bunch of chemicals that say, "Oh my God, be on high alert. There's craziness going on." So even if you're somebody saying to you, calm down, you have all these chemicals flowing around in your body, and they're actually causing your heart to beat faster. They're causing you to sweat. They're causing you to be on high alert. When you breathe, what you do is you take oxygen in and you exhale the excess toxins or the excess chemicals that your body doesn't need. So you're breathing in oxygen, and as you exhale, your body's releasing all these neurotransmitters and chemicals and things that don't help you. First, breathe, breathe. And then I want you to actually say, okay, how can I take precaution? How can I take precaution? Because if I'm prepared, I don't have to worry. Okay, well, they said that if you go out to public places, you can get it. All right, let me stay home. Okay, they say that if you go out, stay 6 feet, a meter to 6 feet away from people, from others. Okay, I have no choice but to go out. Let me make sure I stay 6 feet away from others, or a meter at least away from others. Right? All right, they're saying that if I'm immunocompromised, or if I'm over a certain age, or if I have pre-existing conditions, I'm higher at a higher risk. Let me get myself a mask. If I'm going to be locked up at home, let me make sure I have some entertainment. Let me make sure I have Shaneil's quarantine thrival guide to keep me company. Shaneil.com/quarantine. Let me make sure that I have, food.
Right.
Everybody's chasing toilet paper, guys. If you don't have anything going in, there will be nothing coming out. What are you eating? Get yourself some pasta. Get yourself some flour. Get yourself some sugar, some salt. Get yourself some basics. Okay, get yourself some food, right? And I also think you have to choose what you put into your field of vision. If you see headlines that give you that heart rate beating fast, you start to sweat, you start to feel afraid, close that tab and watch some funny memes. Right. Watch something inspiring. Watch a show. Do something else that will change the chemicals that are being secreted in your body. You are responsible for your stimulus that you take in. You are responsible for that. Now, as it pertains to poor leadership and governments that aren't necessarily doing the best job, this is where you can self-lead. So maybe your mayor or your president or your prime minister, whoever has not put in the precautions. This is where you get to say, well, I'm not going to wait on my mayor or my leaders to do it. I'm going to take precautions. I'm going to inform myself. We live in a global world. I'm sure you have friends of friends who live in Italy, or people who've been to China, who are in Europe, who are going through it, and who are maybe a week ahead of you with what's going on in terms of the effect of it. Call them, message them. I've gotten so many messages of friends who are in the online space who are like, Shaneil, I have a hair salon and I'm wondering, what do you think I should do? Now, I'm not an expert, so I give them my thing, but I also give them a disclaimer. But I let them know how the virus works from my experience here. I let them know how the quarantine works from my experience here. And I say to them, don't worry, like, this is how it works. Now you have the information, you can make an informed decision. But firstly, breathe.
Right.
And then plan, prepare, and take precaution. The 3 P's.
Yes. I agree with that. Like, it's hard to find hand sanitizer. So I put soap in my car. Like, I had a travel size body wash that was out. So I filled it with some soap. And when I go out, I put some hot water in a bottle and I take it with me. And I went to Whole Foods because I also, one of my side hustles is I deliver for Amazon. So for all you people ordering from Amazon, like, you might want to slow that down. It might get a little crazy for a bit because Sunday was a logistical nightmare because of technical issues. And like in New York, 20% of the Amazon drivers called out sick. And they're the ones, like, they drive a van that says Amazon, and these things hold like 200 plus packages, and they had to shift them over to what they call us as delivery partners. So they're putting like, usually you get like 20 something packages, that everybody was getting like 40, 50, 60 packages to make up for these vans not being there. And even like I had to get some tech support because there was issues from Whole Foods, and there was one guy to do tech support, and he was part of a team of 6, and 5 of his team members called out.
Yeah.
So, things are getting different.
What do you give people? Like, how do you overcome?
So basically, I'm like, I wash my hands. If I go in the store, if I come out the store, I wash my hands, and I use gloves. So even when I'm dropping off packages, I'm like, they're gloves, and I drop them off. And then, because I was like doing a hand sanitizer thing in between until I had got gloves. But now I'm like, great, I got gloves. So basically, when I'm done with the shift, I just toss the gloves.
Yeah.
Before I eat anything, I make sure I wash my hands.
Yeah.
So, I pulled over, and so like I was saying, I was at Whole Foods, and I like opened my car door, and I'm like washing my hands, and this lady's in the car next to me, and she's like, oh, I love that. She's like, so you got soap and water in your car? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, instead of trying to make hand sanitizer, like, just carry some soap and water. Like, if you've already brought soap, you already got it. Just, use an empty bottle, put some water in it. And like, that's what I've been doing. And I try to keep my distance from people. And like just keep my precautions. I usually have a scarf on, and I'll keep that over my mouth if I'm around
Yeah.
people because I don't have a mask. Um, but that's been it. And then like this week, I might be home most of the week just so I can do some stuff for me because I realized I was tired.
Yeah.
So, and I take a lot of vitamin C, so I'm just keeping like my vitamins up and doing different things. So as Matthew said, don't panic. We got this. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I don't get the toilet paper thing either. I was in the supermarket when they were just restocking, but even like a normal pack of toilet paper that should have been like maybe $8.99 was like $13.
My sister told me like 4 rolls, $5. I was just like, what's going on? You were saying something from here? Like, it's
Right.
crazy.
Right.
But
Yes.
but what I want to say too, VJ, is like I want to remind everyone that as a human race, as a species of human beings, we've been through the Spanish flu of the 1918 to 20 in the 20s. We've been through the Holocaust. We've been through World Wars One and Two. We've been through nine
Yeah.
11. We've been through slavery. Like we've been through so
We've done
much.
a lot.
We've been through a lot. We've been through SARS. We've been through Chick V. Maybe people don't remember chicken
Yep.
meltdown, Chick V. We've been through Zika. We've been through
Yep. Ebola,
Ebola. We've been through so much. So
swine flu. Yeah. Yeah.
Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Sandy,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
earthquakes in Haiti, tsunamis in
Yeah.
Asia. We've been through a lot, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to survive. We will make it. We're gonna thrive. We're gonna make it. We're gonna
Yes.
make it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think people fail to realize that it's like even I mean it's still an issue. It's still a serious issue. It's not to be like oh lackadaisical, but it is still like take some perspective. Like the amount of deaths is still small in comparison to some of these other things, right? And nobody's
Yeah,
talking about how many people have recovered. The
yeah.
recovery rate is much higher than the death rate.
But
So
guess
like
what?
here in New York, I'm happy for our governor because our governor has some sense.
Yeah,
And I know he's trying to put in drive-through testing at one of the beaches because it has tons of parking and have like really
yeah.
large parking lots. And I'm like, that's perfect. And
Smart.
it's like, he's like when I watch like the lives of the governor talking, I'm like, oh, okay, we got somebody sane in charge. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Like he's like, we got a plan going. Like, he's looking at other things. He's not worrying about what the federal's doing. He's like, we don't focus on what we can do.
Yeah.
So
But even
it's good.
the regular flu
Oh
kills
yeah, kills way more people.
more than 500,000 people every year from the regular
Yeah,
flu.
yeah,
You know? So we have
yeah,
to,
yeah, yeah.
you are so correct when you say perspective. That is the word. We have to put things in perspective. Take precaution because especially for people who are over a certain age, who are
Yes.
immunocompromised and who have pre-existing conditions, they are at risk. We have to be aware and be alert and understand that. If you have somebody who's a family member who they are in that situation, encourage them to stay home. And if you can
Hmm.
take supplies for them, do that. But let us realize that there's a perspective. 500,000 people
Right.
and more from the regular flu every year. Yeah, we can make
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah. And check in on the single people that live by themselves, right? Everybody's always like, oh, spend time with your families, but there's a lot of people that don't have families.
Yeah,
So, like I had a post about that too. I'm like, you know what? If you know your neighbor lives by yourself and you're in an apartment building, slip a note under their door and be like, are you okay?
yeah.
Play a game of tic-tac-toe with them, slide it, something like at some point we're going to be entertaining each other. Like what are
Yeah.
people watching on Netflix? I mean, am I the only person that was watching like I watched Pandemic, I watched Outbreak, Containment,
Listen, I
I
watched
watched the
Pandemic
zombie
in
show, like
January. I'm like one of those people that's like prepared, like ultra prepared. So when I
yes.
kind of had it, I'm like, all right, intuition, what's going on here? Okay, it's gonna spread globally. Let's watch Pandemic on Netflix. So I was just like, but watching it
Yeah.
helped me to like not be as afraid because I understood kind of like the dynamics of how
Right.
they work and everything.
Right, right. Yeah, and then I watch zombie shows. I used to watch The Walking Dead all the time. I'm like, I'm prepared for a zombie apocalypse. I can handle this. I have a
Can I
friend.
tell
We
you
have we
something?
have a whole plan. We've had a plan in effect for like 6 years now because of The Walking Dead.
Let me tell you something about zombie thing. So here in Italy, we're under quarantine. I'm whispering because I don't want anyone to hear. But like, you're not supposed to leave your house. If you have a pet, you can take your pet for walks. But Carla and I, we were like locked in this house. We were on day 6, so we're going crazy. So we were like, all right, let's go take the dog for a walk. We didn't need to because we have a yard. The dog can run in the yard. But we said, let's go, guys. Kid you not, we went out. We were walking for like 3 kilometers, and it felt like we were in a zombie apocalypse. Like there was no humans, not even a cat, not even a dog. There was nothing on
Wow.
the road, and you just had the cars parked up, and it was just like, but not in a scary way, just like, you know,
Right.
wow, weird kind of way. And then too, because we live beside the beach, we were standing on the balcony, and it just felt like, you know, when you think about somebody, the first set of humans before civilization, and they were just on the
Right.
coast, and they're looking out, and there's nothing. I was just like in awe of what I was seeing. I was just like, wow, this must
Right.
be what like the first set of humans experience. Silence,
Right. Yeah.
peace, no, just nothing. And it's scary. It's weird because we're so used to the noise, but it's also so beautiful. Like I saw somebody post yesterday that now in China, like the smog has cleared, and they can actually see the sky being blue again, and they can hear
Right.
birds chirping again, when they haven't heard that in such a long time because of they're used to so much noise. And so there's still beauty taking place in spite of all, you know, that's going on.
Maybe it's like a way for the earth to heal itself a little bit too, because like with people quarantine, like carbon footprints are going down. Like they've shown images from Times Square of like how empty Times Square is, and it's not completely empty, but for
Yeah.
Times Square it's empty. There's
Yeah.
like 40 people in Times Square, and you're like,
Wow.
there's never just 40 people in Times Square. You can go to Times Square at 3 in the morning and it is still packed.
So full.
So so it's just like seeing that. But like I'm happy I live in the suburbs, so I'm not like smack in New York City. I'm an hour outside of it.
Yeah.
But like the highways are definitely less people on it, which is good. I think people need to handle
Yeah.
that, and maybe worldwide we'll get to like the same level of hygiene.
Yeah.
Like so everybody will always wash their hands. Like please wash your hands all the time, not just during illnesses, like all the time.
All the time.
Don't just pick your nose and start flinging it and then start eating. Like, wash your hands, please.
Yeah. Like, isn't this common
Please,
knowledge?
please, please.
Like,
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I don't want to hold you up any longer unless we have any more questions. I really appreciated having you and talking about your soul purpose. I think Matt had a really great question that probably helped a lot of people. I know some people just watch, they don't always engage, and I love you anyway. But I think this was really good, and everybody stay safe. You can tell she's here in Italy, and she doesn't look like she's dying or anything. So she's thriving.
running.
She's thriving well. And feel free to follow Shaneil. So tell them how they can follow you on all your social media.
So on my social media, it's Shaneil, Shaneil official, on Instagram, on YouTube, and on Facebook. My page is Shaneil official if you search it. But if you want to go to the link, it's facebook.com/official Shaneil. But literally, if you search Shaneil official anywhere, you'll find me. Even my website where I have my membership and stuff like that, it's Shaneil official on all the places.
Okay, perfect, perfect. I suggest you follow her. She does great videos. She's wait. Okay, I'm gonna say this one last thing about you before we go. She's very authentic, right? And some people don't do different things. I mean, I've seen this chick like fixing wigs on doing makeup, and I'm like, what is she doing? And just cracking up. Or like, I remember I was scrolling in my Facebook feed, and you were dancing. And I was like, what is she dancing to? I'm like scrolling by, and all I see is her like, woo. And I'm like, okay, what is Shaneil up to now? And it's just like how you see her, that's how she is. So if you want to follow some authentic content that can definitely change your life, I definitely recommend following Shaneil Official. And thank you for being a guest. I definitely enjoyed having you. Thank you for everybody who watched. Thank you for your questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to message her separately. And everybody have a great day. Remember to breathe and don't panic, and be kind to each other.
Yes. Thanks for having me, BJ.
Right.
This was so much fun.
Yes, it was. Bye, everybody.